I was texting with Amelia, one of the founders, and we kind of just stumbled in this idea of like, what if we had comics and storytellers talk about their abortions? I put my feelers out there on Facebook. I was like, hey, are there any comics that would tell their abortion stories on stage? And I was hoping for like three or four, and I was like, I can put on a show. And a few dozen responded. I did maybe 2 tweets about it, and before I know it, like 100 people are interested and 100 people confirmed going, and then it just kept growing and growing. I think the last I checked, combined totals were like 1,100 people. 1,100 people care about this and want to know more about this. People are desperate for this conversation to happen, and people want to know how to join it.
Mary is like a creative person, a storyteller, a person that's out there like using her voice publicly in all sorts of different creative ways. She's really just like doing the same stuff she does anyway, putting together a comedy show, talking to women in her community, but abortion. When
I first found out about Shout Your Abortion, I was like, this is very aggressive. And it really made me take a look at myself and my own shit. I'm like, why am I scared of this hashtag? And I think Shout Your Abortion itself made me critically re-examine how I feel about abortion, and really how progressive are we if we can't even say the fucking word abortion.
I've had 3 abortions. I've made jokes about it in my comedy, but I've never like explicitly addressed it.
I had a few friends that knew, but I just knew that it was going to be, if I even let them in, I was either going to be shut out, it wasn't going to be talked about and just forgotten. Sharing the event on Facebook, I was like, well, there it is.
I'm horrified at the idea of my mom knowing, because she's super pro-life, but at some point I feel like I am going to need to tell her if I continue to feel like I need to advocate for pro-choice movements. So at some point I gotta bite the bullet and hope she still loves me. If I could get a hold of the video you guys record tonight, if it's poignant enough and if it communicates enough to her why I made the choice I did, maybe that would be the way I'd do it. And that's the thing I've kind of felt about a lot of parents, is that they're not okay with it, but once they've experienced it with their own children, I mean, obviously there's exceptions in that, but a lot of the time when parents have that experience with their own children, it opens their eyes more, and I would hope that that would be an opportunity for that with my mom.
I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I'm like, I talk about it so openly. I have no problem telling everybody about going to jail or like what got me sober, but for whatever reason, this is like that part that's still a secret. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. And I have no shame over my addictions. So it's like, why do I let this shame? Oh, and it's like, oh, because you don't talk about it.
I'm a little bit halfway expecting that I might cry, but I don't know. I've sort of always wanted to talk about it on stage, but I just couldn't really find the right way to do it in a comedic manner and like make a bit out of it. So this was perfect because it's a storytelling show. My thing is like, I want somebody to be able to take away the fact that like you can make jokes about this, but it can also be serious and emotional for you at the same time. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It doesn't have to be crass. It can be though. Like it can be all of those things, because it is all those things.
Thank you everyone for coming to this. Clearly there's a demand and a desire for people to get up here and talk about their abortion. I didn't expect it to sell out. I don't know. This is just amazing. Like, it's overwhelming to look down and to see everyone here is here deliberately.
People love hypothetical abortion jokes. That shit's fucking hilarious to them. But as soon as like you're in front of them and it's your abortion, they're like, oh my God. My parents don't know because I'm actually very terrified to tell them. My mom's pro-life. My dad has said nothing, so I'm assuming pro-life as well. But I haven't figured out how to tell my parents yet, because no bakery makes a cake that's frosting with nothing inside.
My first abortion, I was 17 years old. I also did the abortion pill. So I just sat there with his mom and cramped out my pregnancy into a small boat of a pad while eating peanut butter on apples and watching 16 and Pregnant.
My second abortion happened in 2014. I decided to contact the person who impregnated me, and I didn't know the best way to do that. I just said, hi, I'm pregnant and I need money for an abortion. And he was like, is it mine? And I was like, probably.
Being able to get ready for this storytelling show
allowed me to deal with the fact that I hadn't dealt with having had the abortion. I always thought, for the most part, I was very pro-choice. And I just always thought, but that's just not a choice I would make. And then I found myself in that situation, and it was automatically the choice that I had to make. I was 29, and he was 22. And I don't recommend that. Ever. I knew that I was just gonna someday have to talk about it because you can't keep that shit inside. That timeline's too perfect. I took a test on Labor Day and then got the abortion on September 11. Hashtag I'll never forget, you know what I mean?
I think it was 2011 maybe when I had my abortion. I went to Dollar Tree and I got 2 pregnancy tests. Because they're $1 and they weren't. They say 99.9% accurate and they only cost $1, which is good because you're gonna fucking need that money later for an abortion. There is not, I think, any right way to talk about abortion, basically. Anyway, the only right way to deal with it is just sort of be supportive of the people that experience it in the way that they experience it, however that may be. I feel emotional. Yeah. I like increasingly this has gotten more emotional for me. I feel great. That's the first time I've ever talked about that ever. Like I've never talked about that. I've never told that story.
I didn't know that this was something I needed to get off my chest.
Being able to be here and having people who were so supportive of the story, whatever that story is, it gave me a different perspective of it because I don't know if I necessarily was supportive of even myself.
I feel like now this is kind of just like broken a dam that I didn't know existed, that I'm gonna probably be unpacking this for a while.
I want people to know that so many people do it. So many people have done it. So many people, parents have done it. Their mom might have done it. Their waitress might have done it. So many people have abortions, and it's okay, and it's not anything to sit alone and have to deal with alone.
When our culture continues to hide this really massive, true, real thing, we are forcing more and more people into darkness about it, to feel alone, to feel shame.
This event on its own is just going to spread into the community. It's going to spread some seeds, and then those people, will cultivate it, grow it, and spread, and cultivate it, and grow it, and spread.